Let's get physical on this week's episode of EasyMode.
Welcome to episode 4 of EasyMode, where we talk about all things gaming.
This is your host, Henry Queen, who is a sweaty gamer, but also gets sweaty at the gym.
That is true, and that is Delayed Dale. She's ready to box and loves her Crocs. And this is EasyMode, the gaming podcast. Listen, we are professionally casual gamers.
We love virtual reality, but we fear our own.
It's true.
Hi, Henry. How are you? How's your week been?
I'm good. How are you? How are your Crocs?
I don't even have Crocs. Are you kidding me? What is going on? Listen,
should.
I love how you've fully dedicated to this episode. I see that weight in the background.
We've got props. We have a yoga mat to my right. We've got a weight in the back. I threw someone's picture onto the couch. You're not in this shot. This is time for a fitness episode because this week's episode is about fitness, physical activity in gaming.
Video gaming, the blending, the lines. We've got so many things to cover. Henry, what games have you been playing this week?
This week I've been playing, of course, a lot of Valorant. I'm grinding. I'm trying to get my skills back. I don't know what happened. I've been terrible, but now we're coming back and I really am. I'm showing the girls who's boss. And by the girls, I mean the straight men who play the game, of course. What about you? What do you have going on this week?
I started playing Cozy Grove, and we talked about that on our Cozy episode, and I've really gotten into it. It's good to just unwind, especially from all the toxicity of me playing DBD. I do be sweaty. But in this game, I'm not sweating. I'm not sweating.
I was just like, whose toxicity exactly?
It's me. All right? I'm being dragged.
And I'm just going to hold myself accountable this week and let you know that I did wish list all the games that you mentioned last week. So I can't wait to get them. I'm super stoked. And I'm watching the trailers and looking at the pictures. Great Rex. I'm very excited.
I love that. Well, should we just dive into this week's episode?
Yes, I can't wait. Let's get started. Let's get going. I can't wait to talk about this week's episode. Fitness, physical activity, in gaming. Let's fucking go.
Henry, did you know that fitness games have existed for a very, very long time? It's even before we were born.
What?
Yeah. Have you been to a bar and they've got that hammer, the strength or the punching bag, or even the electric bull? Those are technically games, video games or whatever.
You know what? You're right. And I never think of them that way. Someone sent me a video recently of me a little tipsy on a bull ride in a bar here in New York City. And I was like, oh, I forgot this memory. And now I remember why.
But how long did you stay on?
I was on there I would say 20, 30 seconds. I beat my friends at it. So ultimately that was the goal. And that's what mattered.
Okay, strong thighs. I see you.
Yeah, you do see them.
So I did some research on this because I was curious to know how long, how far back was the first fitness video game ever created. And it's, first of all, video games dedicated to weight loss and personal fitness have been around for 4 decades. Nearly 4 decades. That's older than both of us. That's iconic.
That's shocking.
Is it?
Yeah, 4 decades.
4 decades. That's like my parents. Why do they not know how to use the internet? Excuse me. So video games can be a great way for people to start their fitness journey. As we know, welcome to 2022. Everyone has, these, not everybody, but most people have a New Year's resolution to get healthy or, just improve something about their lives. And video games are actually a really good way to do that in a judgment-free alternative way in the comfort of your own home. Have you ever played any video game dedicated to health or, just dancing or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, in college, I would say that's probably the biggest time I played any physical games or fitness games or, specifically having to do with around the launch of the Wii, which is I feel at our time that was a big one. We did Just Dance was it. I mean, what I love dancing, so that was just the best way to move and play a video game. And really, what else can I ask for? It's two of my favorite things combined. But I'd say Just Dance is probably the biggest one. I never did Wii Fit, the games they had for that, but. Yeah, Just Dance was a big one for me. I love it.
That's a very good one because it's available on all platforms and people just love to get up and dance, especially to the hits of that decade.
Yes.
But take me back to the 80s. I mean, I was never around for the 80s, but I love the music. So actually, Henry, here's a really fun fact that I found out. So one of the earliest attempts in blending video games with fitness was in the High Cycle by Autodesk and the Puffer by Atari in the 1980s. So it basically utilized stationary bikes and tracking and displaying information on a screen, which would show velocity, distance traveled, calories burned, etc. Now, modern day bikes have that built in, but that was the first blend. You would like hook it up on your TV. You would be cycling on your TV. You were that woman or that man, you know, back in the 80s. Isn't that amazing? And like physical, that gear. I love it.
That's freaking cool. And it's wild to me that those things were done by like Atari, like being one of the companies doing that. And you know what? I mean, obviously someone had the idea even back then. So the ideas for like the combination of fitness and gaming technology have obviously always been there, but it's a matter now of the technology catching up to what I'm sure people were imagining you could do at the time.
The only limitations are those in your brain. And
exactly.
And I'm going to tell you how far we've come, and you're going to tell us how far we come later, but I'm just like, super excited about this topic. So there were games that were released that demanded high levels of fitness to defeat the hardest level. However, these games were not designed for the intention of fitness as the main goal. Do you have an idea on which game I'm talking about? It's a very iconic game. You might know.
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know? No guesses?
I feel like I have a feeling, but just tell me.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, no, I was not thinking that. But yes, that makes... I didn't even think about that as its own sort of like combination of those things.
Yeah, so it was created not for like fitness related, but like at the like you needed a high level of fitness to beat the higher levels of like difficulty. It first came out in 1998, September 26, 1998. The latest release was in July 1st, 2020. So that's pretty recent. DDR is still around, and it's still iconic. Not even at homes, but at places where you go to, like arcade games. You know, you see that classic like DDR. But that was like the first staple, and that was actually what made me become a sweaty gamer, like literally a sweaty gamer. Like,
oh my gosh, actually sweating, drenched.
Actually sweaty, but like the competitive drive, and you needed to like have like a certain level of fitness for the higher levels because you're jumping around. You got to get all of your, you know. I mean, I can't jump. I'm sitting down on a chair, but you know what I mean.
I do. And I actually remember all those viral videos, and they would hold on to the back of the bars with both of their hands, and then their feet would just be going like wild.
I just want to know how their breathing was working. Like, were they doing circular breathing or like what? Because I'm always panting. I'm always like, like I just, not for me, but I mean, I still had a blast.
I would do it, but I don't think I'm like, I think I go for levels on DDR that are above what I can do.
But the songs
like
for those ones are so good.
Just because I want to do the good songs. Yeah, like Sandstorm. And I remember that one song, I think it was on Dance Dance Revolution. I am a little butterfly. Green, black, and blue, like the colors in the sky.
Yep.
That one?
Yeah.
I think that was on there. I freaking love that one. I think I would just like do that over and over just to hear this song.
Oh my God, me too. I loved it, but also I tend to listen to music that has like a higher like beats per minute. And so I loved that kind of like songs on DDR, but I needed to get to that level. I'd always get a D ranking, but my brother would get an F, so I'd always beat him. So
that's right. That's all that matters is that we beat our friends and family at the games.
Honestly, we're so competitive. Remember, professionally casual.
Yes,
but also
we're
sweaty.
very casually beating our family and friends at all these games.
Honestly, though. So touching back on how you talked about the Wii Fit, the movement. So that actually broke through mainstream media in 2007 to 2008. It was the first game to push boundaries between video games and everyday fitness in ways that no other game had previously done before. So I want to give you a little bit of a guess. How many units as of 2012 do you think they sold of the Wii Fit worldwide?
You're asking me a lot of questions. Difficult questions today.
Because I want to see your reaction. I was shocked when I read this. Okay?
I don't know how many things sell. I'm going to guess. And it's breaking world records in media and stuff like that. I'm going to go with like 10 million. 12 million. 12.
Okay. You were off a little bit. It was 22.
Okay, I'm not shocked.
It was close to 23 million units around the world. Not only was it used at home, but it was also used in physiotherapy rehabilitation too.
I love that. And that's just the Wii Fit itself?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot for like an add-on to a console.
Exactly. No, exactly. It was the first game that like broke. It was for fitness, but gaming, and helped a lot of people. You know how sometimes you go to a gym and they have like a video game area where you can still like exercise? You know, like VR or virtual gaming, like exercise.
I don't know what kind of gym you go to, but my gym costs $20 a month. They don't have that there.
Oh, no. At my gym, they have a room where you can turn on like any game or whatever, and you can like dance along with them or do fitness along with like a virtual instructor. Or some gyms do have this kind of like gaming kind of room set for people to go work out in. And I go in there sometimes. Nobody goes in there, so it's like,
That's kind of cool. I want to go to that gym.
It does not cost $20.
I believe you.
Like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I go to the $20 gym, so.
But look at you.
Look at us.
You're looking amazing.
Thank you.
So Fitness Today, have you heard of the Ring Fit?
Of course.
The Ring
It was
Fit,
big.
It's still big. They are still launching stuff. I mean, I have one over there. It's
No
amazing.
way.
It is. It's great. If you ever used it, you know that it does actually get your muscles moving, and it's a great way of doing your own pace of the exercises. However, the goal is to do more movement in less time while keeping up the same technique. So I love that this is like a good way for people to like introduce themselves into fitness, or if they just like, it's been a while. Like for me, after my knee surgery, I needed to get like back into like a little bit of muscle, but all of my gyms were closed because of the pandemonium. So I'm like, how am I gonna like get in there? I got the Ring Fit and I was like, okay, I feel this. I feel this. And I like it. I'd recommend it.
From what I've seen, everyone's like, it's actually hard. And I'm like,
it is.
That's awesome. I love that. A little challenge. And like you said, it's about pacing yourself at your own pace and doing the correct technique repetitively.
And it doesn't matter how hard. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, it doesn't
either.
have to be hard. But like, as long as there's a challenge and you're doing it right, that's all that matters. And you know, a fun fact about walking that I learned recently that really gave me like the best peace of mind, that walking 6 miles and running 6 miles is burning the exact same amount of calories. Just the only difference is the time.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And when I saw that, I was like, wow.
Walking
Crazy
is
how that works.
so underrated. Like, I feel like a lot of people. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, I want to lose weight, or I want to like get healthy, I want to get fit. I
want to feel strong.
I want to feel
strong.
Good. You do not need to start off with like a high intensity program. You really do not, because the best thing for you is honestly just to start walking. Walking is so underrated, and there are so many ways of walking and enjoying what you do. Like, have you heard of this game? It's like Zombies Fit. It's with your phone. So while you're walking, and it'll say like, or it's like a walk to run kind of program if you want to become a runner.
Yeah.
So I did this back when I was training for a half marathon. But basically you start walking, it's like zombies are coming, and like there's a story in your ears. So like the zombies are like yelling, and you're like, you have to like jog a little bit, and it makes you jog for like 30 seconds to like outrun the zombies. But there are so many ways of like, it's like a video game, but it's also in your ears. So it's not like you're playing, but you're outdoors. They blend. There's so many lines that are being blended. And I know you're going to get into that into your next segment, how we're talking about reality to virtual reality. So I'm really excited to see what you talk about.
Thanks. I'm very excited. I mean, the reality of virtual reality lines are really blending a lot more. And I think that, I think we should get into a few of those new and exciting things that are coming with gaming and technology and movement, fitness, exercise. But before that, we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
All right. Now, as we mentioned, virtual reality, it is becoming bigger, larger, more accessible, more variety, more readily available. And when it comes to fitness incorporation into video games or physical incorporation to video games, I think virtual reality, like you mentioned, at your gym, and that sort of, those things are coming together. Things like Oculus, specifically the Quest platform, are sort of leading the way and blurring those lines and providing this whole new world of gaming that is physical, that is movement oriented, that is, whether intentional or not, fitness and sort of health oriented. There are a lot of games, and as I mentioned, specifically the Quest platform, I think is really leading the way with software products and gaming that allow the user to get up and move with or without the intention of being active. Of course, VR is always like active. It's very hard to not be active in one way or another when it comes to VR. But now I did a little research recently, and they have a lot of games that are for fitness, health, movement, whether you're like running in the woods or you're like, actually doing like a high interval intensity training like game, and like that is the sole purpose of the game. But now they have a lot more games that they're like really blurring those lines and trying to like trick you that you're not exercising. But I don't know how you would not be tired not doing it. They do have those games like Beat Saber, which I've played Beat Saber a few times, and oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Those little boxes fly at your face so fast. I start ducking and
You know what's
dodging.
insane
I
about
don't even
Beat
want to
Saber?
break them
It's
anymore.
actually so competitive. Some people have it where they only flash like for 2 seconds the boxes, and then you have to memorize the pattern. And then,
No.
okay, I've played Beat Saber, and also you can have customizable maps, so people can like make their own songs to maps, or like songs to maps kind of thing. And first of all, we love a good Gaga moment, but her songs are fast.
We do.
Her songs are fucking fast, and I'm just like, oh my god, and then you never realize. I don't know if you've ever you did play VR, but some games, even if it's not Beat Saber, but you just having your hands up to like play.
Oh, like this.
It's a lot on your arms. You
It
know,
is.
like that's exercise. Even if you're not running in
Yeah.
place, like your arms are up. Like you can't have your arms down. Like your arms are up to like either move or like if you're doing like like your arms are up. So you feel it.
I mean, exercise is really like maintaining.
Maintaining.
I think the definition is like maintaining any physical movement with any amount of resistance. So like holding your hands up like this for VR is you are doing exercise.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be you holding weights. Like you can do a lot with your own body weight too. So
I mean, and there's entire workouts dedicated to like weight training with your own body.
exactly.
And you're kind of doing that in this. But so they have Beat Saber. They have their own version of what's that dance game we love? We just talked about Just Dance.
Oh, Just Dance. Yep.
Yeah, they have their own version of Just Dance called Dance Central, which is really exciting.
Ooh.
But they're going even further.
Ooh.
I was watching some trailers for some games, and I'm like, there's no way, first of all, that I wouldn't be just drenched in sweat. I'm a big sweater. There's no way I wouldn't be drenched in sweat after playing this.
We know you're sweaty.
I'm very sweaty. You are too,
I got a desk fan.
IRL and mentally.
Drag me.
But there's this game. They have a few games that I was like, wow, these look freaking cool.
Okay.
The first one called Until You Fall.
Okay.
It's like this gorgeous, colorful, like magical, like mountainy world. You're fighting giant monsters and you're like running away with them, but also get to points where you have to like fight them. And the wild part to me is like the world is gorgeous, but then like the monsters are like
Huge.
60 feet tall or something. So like not only are you this wonderful environment, so you have to like run through whatever VR program they use. You have to actually run away from them, but then you also have to fight them. And that is just there's a lot
So
there.
is
And
this
like that
like-
is just so
Is
active.
this like Attack on Titan?
Yeah, kind of like that, except more like World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
You're not flying around and you're running away a little
My
more.
weeb heart was like, I'm ready. But not really
my
because
God.
my fitness is not to that level.
I don't need the Attack on Titan VR. I have enough trauma. And then they have another game. Didn't write down the name apparently, but it's a roguelite dungeon game
Ooh.
where you're an archer shooting your way like through, like actually putting the bow and the arrow in the bow and shooting your way through a castle. And of course, it is roguelite dungeon, so that means if you die along the way, you do have to start over, which I mean sucks. But I assume you get better and better every time. But you have to like bow and arrow your way through and
God.
actually
Have you
do the
ever
whole bow and arrow movement.
like done a bow and arrow? Like what is that called? Not done a bow
Yes.
and arrow. What's that term?
Archery
Archery. Yeah. Have you ever done archery?
twice.
I too.
It's hard.
First of all, bullseye many times. I don't know. I guess I'm a natural, but it hurts. I'm
Okay,
like,
Katniss.
I know. Okay, Katniss. I don't have the braid. I just have the pony today. But listen up. It's just like I pulled it and I'm like, okay, I feel it. I feel it in
Yeah.
my bones.
Like when you go bowling, even if you
Oh,
like after
bowling.
like one or
Oh,
two
yeah.
games of bowling, my arms is sore.
God, my carpal tunnel is like.
I mean, my mental health is like no. But yes, the sort of that physical aspect of how the game works is a huge part of VR gaming, and I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger. I think the games are only going to get bigger and better, and there's going to be a lot of amazing and exhausting things to come. But you know, if these games get really good, I can't wait to try them personally.
Well, here's the thing. There's have you heard of like VR boxing?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Okay, so as we can see from my raps, I box IRL, like in real life. I'm not just like this. I do stuff.
against like people, weights, or
it
your inner demons.
I pretend. Well, I had a trainer, and she would do like cycles with like the punching bag. So we would, do punch, punch, pow, punch, punch, pow. But there are so many new VR titles for boxing that are coming out. There's one called Creed: Rise to Glory. So we all know the movie Creed. Have you seen it? I heard it was really good. I myself have not seen it.
I know because Michael B. Jordan was in it, and I'm very up to date with what he's doing every day in his life.
Apparently, apparently that game was amazing, and you can actually like box against him or be like immersed in kind of like that movie world. But then there's also a game called
Oh
Box
wow.
VR where they have like different like settings of like, okay, level 1, level 2, like it's like training for boxing. So while you like there are different combos that you could do, and you work up a sweat because again, you have to keep your arms up to protect yourself. As soon as your arms drop, they punch you. So you always have to hold your arms up, and it's like I'm getting an actual workout. You know, like I'm not wearing my boxing gloves that are weighted, but I'm still having like an actual workout. And like you said, Beat Saber 2, these games they get you sweaty. They actually get you sweaty. Make sure you've got some fans going on, especially if you're a competitive gamer. Also, don't wear them too tight or you're gonna get like big rings around your face like I did, and I was a raccoon.
As someone with a huge head, I get that too. Like I was just imprinted, like it's almost even slightly
I
bruised
know, right?
by the VR
and
headset.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
did I work out hard or is my head just big? Like, which one was it? So
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
excited for
Well,
all these VR
also,
titles. Sorry, continue.
no, I'm excited too. I can't wait to see what VR becomes because first of all, it seemed like at first it seemed very gimmicky when VR first started, but I guess everything seems gimmicky. But now we see it everywhere. We see how it's being used. There's a lot to come. But unlike my $20 gym, VR systems do have some obstacles for a lot of different people. First of all, a high price point. Not like a lot of game systems, but considering the limitations there are with VR and like the price point of systems, games, and other things that you may need to be like have a very like enriching and fulfilling VR experience, there's a high price point, and that may not be accessible to anyone, especially if you're specifically going in for like a fitness oriented person.
Also, keep in mind if you are wanting to get VR and it is in your price point or whatever, keep in mind that some people do find that they get motion sickness when they play VR, especially like when I tried to play Skyrim VR, the amount of times that I'd like have to move and the way that the world looked through the lenses, I got so dizzy. So there are certain games that I couldn't play. I could only play the games where I'm standing or like slightly moving. And I know some people have that kind of same issue. So that might be something that you might have like a same issue as well. So just keep that in mind. I mean, try it out. There are VR arcades. VR arcades. It's hard to say that. It's like a
VR
arcades. There's plenty in the city that I live in. It's a really cool way to like try out VR. They've got like ones where you like have to turn around, shoot zombies, and you have to keep walking. Like, you know, the ones where like you're on a platform and you actually have to walk.
Yeah.
So those ones are very expensive. And where would I put that in my house, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to try out VR, there are ways of trying it. See if it's for you, and then if it's your price point, you want to buy it. Why not? Right? Why not?
Yeah, go ahead. But then also besides the high price point, VR though does provide amazing opportunities for a lot of different people, especially some people with disabilities. It is also very limiting to a lot of people with disabilities. I read a long and very thorough and very interesting article from the Bureau of Internet Accessibility. And though VR provides a lot of great experiences for some people, it is not just available for everyone to use that are differently abled. Some people, it actually is even more difficult than regular gaming to participate in, and makes some of their obstacles even harder. So it is unfortunate. So if you are a person who's differently abled, it could be for you and it could be amazing, but it also could not be and actually be a little more difficult when if you want to be a gamer in that sense or in this platform. So it's an interesting article to read. I'll throw it in the show notes just because I thought it was a fantastic read and I love being informed. So I'll throw it in the show notes, but VR is fantastic. And if you have some VR games that you want to recommend to us, let me know, because I have the Oculus Quest on my wish list. As soon as my Christmas bonus hits from work, that is one of my top things to purchase, and I can't wait. So if you have Game Recs, let me know. I'm dying to try a few.
Woohoo!
We're back. And something that we haven't covered in talking about physical aspects of gaming, sort of this like great incorporation, is sort of that crossover of like gamers or athletes, esports, people who do this full time. Ultimately, Dale, gamers like you and I are like any other athletes, professional or not. We need to take care of ourselves.
You're not wrong there.
And you know that. I knew that. We have pains in our hands and fingers.
I actually have a story about this, but continue. I have a story about how.
No, tell us now.
I'll tell
now.
you guys right now. I have like tendonitis and like tennis elbow. Do you know what that is? You get like pain like here and like it flares up. It's really, really tight. So when I would play handheld on the Nintendo Switch, it flared up so bad that I could not even use my mouse. Like I would have to put my arm
Oh my
in like a thing
gosh.
and just have it like straight. So I actually cannot play my Nintendo Switch handheld. I have to take it out, put it in the dock, and use the Joy-Cons with my arms down, or I have to play on my PC docked in, like plugged into my PC on a different controller, because the way that the Switch is designed, the way like my hands are tiny and the way I'm holding it hurt me so bad. Like I
Oh
couldn't
my
even use my arm for
gosh.
like, I'm not even kidding you, like a week. It was so inflamed, so tight. So if you already have like an issue like me, take care of yourself.
Yes, taking care of ourselves is a very important. Gaming is physical, whether you're playing a physical game or
No,
not. There
exactly.
are moving any part of your body is a physical aspect, and you and I, we both work full time jobs. So, in addition to gaming, so desk jobs, and then also gamers on PC. You'll like this quote from Elite Daily I read, and it's so freaking funny. Honestly, it's not funny. It's too real. They said, I always wondered what dying felt like, but then I got a full-time office job.
That hurt. Like
So if
I'm
you,
laughing, but it's also like I'm about to cry, you know?
I'm more of that. Stay perfectly still and quiet, and it can't hurt you.
It'll always hurt you.
But a lot of us have sort of office jobs, and we live a very sedentary lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because that has to do with providing for ourselves and providing for others and our families. But being very sedentary during our day jobs and then coming home and being, gamers, streamers, those things do take an impact.
You know?
Um, so I was thinking and I was reading, and so like people who do this full time, even more than us, professional esports players, people who are content creators, people who are on like different teams for professional companies, they can spend up to like 10 plus hours a day playing a video game, whether it's for
Mm-hmm.
training, whether it's for content, whether it's for
I never even
practicing with
thought
your
of it like
team.
that. Like your biggest asset are your hands, your wrist, and your body. So you have to make sure you
Yes.
take care of them. Because, like, for example, after I injured myself, well, fucking playing the Switch with my already pre-existing condition, I couldn't do anything. I had to like reschedule like my streams and just like I had to get like a note for work. Like it was difficult for me to work, right? So like for these people
Yeah.
where this is what they do full time, one minor injury, it's not like they're breaking a sweat differently, but like you have to take care of all parts of your body. And this is like, thank you for saying that. I didn't even think of it like that at all.
Yeah. And funny enough, so professional esports teams actually do spend a lot of time exercising or like working out their hands, working out their fingers, and really like stretching and warming up for any game. Recently, this guy who won a Fortnite tournament, he won 225K. So shout out to him. Good for him.
Wow.
19 years old. I think his name's Morgase or Morgause. I don't know how to pronounce it. He spends 2 to 3 hours warming up his muscles and joints before any major game or tournament. Of course, he does it at home, but he spends 2 to 3 hours just warming them up for any like
Wow.
major event he's playing
Yeah.
in.
Because it only takes one muscle to just ruin everything.
Yeah, any
Honestly.
slower reaction and that could cost at that level can cost you the game. And then was a shocking one to me. I mean, we all know this professional StarCraft. It's sort of a huge competitive scene
Mhm.
in that game, but the StarCraft professional players can perform 500 to 600 actions per minute. That is 10 actions per second. So people who do StarCraft not only have to stay warm, but they have to make sure they're really stretching themselves out before, during, and after games,
my
just because
God.
their impact and how quick they're moving while playing StarCraft is at such a high speed. Um, Shocking. Shocking number, right? I can't
I
imagine doing 10 things per second. I can barely do a thing per
I was just
minute.
thinking if somebody threw something at me right now, my reflex would be so slow. Like that's what I was thinking. And they could do that. How about wow. GG's.
Yeah, they're ready.
Wow.
I think we just live in such like a screen, keyboard, phone, like oriented environment that like there's going to be a lot of new and different issues that we're going to
Yep.
be facing physically than a lot of people have before us.
Keyboard. It's hard when like we work full time, we're at our desks. Then we create content at our desks. And so like
Yeah.
we should do what they do and we should exercise and stretch our bodies. So
Yeah. I actually just recently changed my keyboard and mouse setup for when I play Valorant. I now turn everything in. My keyboard is sideways, my mouse is sideways, so that my arms can just freely rest on the desk, and I only have to worry about my fingers and
Oh,
wrists.
great idea.
Because I used to just, as opposed to like extend, like holding my hands out and really maintaining that sort of like muscle tension in my
Mm.
arms to like support my arms. I'm now resting my entire hands on my desk, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. And it's nice. So it's like sort of less to think about. What do you do? Anything? I mean, you stream. You do a lot at your desk. Do you do anything to like stay super comfy? Do you stretch while you
I
do it?
have
Because you stream for long
I do.
hours.
I have like more of like an ergonomic setup. At least I try to. So my chair is more ergonomic. I've got like a little like foot rest thing that I can put my feet on. I have an ergonomic mouse, so I actually, like this is so ugly. We'll have to post like a photo so you guys can see what I'm talking about because I can't like it's like I can't lift. It's wired, but it's one of those mouse. Instead of like your hand being flat, your hand's like this. So your hand's actually like a
Mm-hmm.
natural angle. I get bullied so hard for this mouse,
Yeah.
but I'm still killing you in those games. So like, who's laughing now, right? Yeah, that's kind of like what I want to do. I eventually want to like move my stuff more and kind of have my arms rested, like you said. My keyboard's a little bit too big, and that kind of prevents like moving. But I want to make it as
Mm-hmm.
ergonomic as possible because like if I don't do this now, it's only gonna get worse, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
lot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I cannot wait to have a bigger apartment one day with a bigger desk
Yep.
so that I have
Yep.
room to be
Mm-hmm.
comfy. I'm in New York City. There's not room for a desk in this place.
So, Henry, before we wrap up, I just want to tell you, did you know that each console had like their own like console specific game? Like, for example, we had like on the Wii, we had like the Wii Fit series. On Xbox, they had the
Mm-hmm.
Kinect. Did you ever play Xbox Kinect?
I forgot about the Connect, but I did have one.
And then for PlayStation came out with VR. But what's really interesting is that some major gyms have actually come out with their own video games for these consoles. Like Gold's Gym has had like a game that you can come and play. Also, The Biggest
No
Loser,
way.
who was like, remember that big show? I don't even know if it's still on, but yeah, they had their own game too. So there's like the cross between media and gaming, the blend. I think that's amazing,
Yeah.
and I really like this episode.
I like that. And you know what? The best part about this, and the part that's super exciting to me, is the amount of research and articles that support the success and the effectiveness of this medium for all of its users. This area and sector of gaming is really going to be growing a lot in the next few years, and I'm very excited to see what it does. But again, much like the gaming industry as a whole, I'm just glad it's growing into other sectors and being successful and also providing different opportunities for everyone to become involved
Yeah.
in this industry that we love so much and something we love
exactly,
doing.
and it's not just people wanting to get fit at home. Remember, we talked about like fitness and rehabilitation centers or fitness at your local gym. Like it's growing. There's only going to be more that's going to come, and also as technology advances, the items to purchase will cost less for the user. So like maybe one day VR will be at a price point that's more accessible to others, and it'll come much further, and there'll be more titles, and I'm pretty excited. Though
Yes.
I don't know if I'd play Skyrim IRL, like in VR. That was too frightening for me.
I think I would. I could spend hours in there. I think I freaking love Skyrim. I already play for hours, so this wouldn't be any different than what I already
You have
do.
way more stamina than I do. I cannot be on my feet that long. I am a sitting down sedentary, but exercise when I can. But when I'm done exercising, I want to stop. Like I just want to be a potato on my bed.
I mean, who doesn't? But ultimately, I'm excited that it's gamers, and I'm very gamer first. So team gamer, team us. We're getting those resources to take care of ourselves and the information to take care of ourselves. And whether what that means to every individual person is completely different. But I'm just excited that people have a choice and an option in a medium that they love.
And in a judgment-free way. There's no judgment in what you do. And it's at your home. You can do it at your own pace. So this is all about you.
Yes. And we love that.
We love that.
We love
that
that
for you and for us and for all gamers.
Speaking of doing things, Dale, what games are you going to be playing after this? What are you going to be doing? Tell me. Give me the lowdown.
Well, as you know, it's freezing in Canada. We just got a big snowstorm. And so I do not believe I will go to the gym today. So I think I'll pull up my Ring Fit and see if I can just do some exercising at home, because why not? I don't want to go out. It's so cold.
It is very cold.
But how about you? What are you going to be doing?
Well, I am actually dressed for the gym, which I'm going to go to right after we record this episode because it is not as cold in New York City. But through Xbox Game Pass, I recently got a new game. Well, it's not that new, but I just installed this game called The Ascent. It's like an isometric sort of shooter from like a top view. It looks very visual, very cool, and I can't wait to try it, and I'll let you know what I think. Love trying games on Xbox Game Pass. Very cool.
Love it.
Give me the free games. Give me them now.
Yeah, honestly, it's a really cool thing to have.
But if you know anyone that could use some information on fitness, gaming, and sort of what resources and options are available to them, make sure to send this episode to them. I'm sure, I know I've told a few people about everything I've learned already, mainly because I didn't know these things were here for us. And that's very exciting. So if you connected to that or know someone who needs it, please make sure to send out this episode. We would really appreciate it. I'm sure they would as well.
Also, send it to your parents if they're feeling doubtful about like, video games are hurting you. There's no point in video games. You know, there's more to video games than just playing a game. There's fitness and exercise. Send this to somebody who just doesn't know, and we can educate them.
Yeah, let them know. 'Cause you know now.
You know now, and they should know.
And also, please remember to like, subscribe, and set up for automatic downloads on whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether that's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or anything else that you listen on. We are here, and we appreciate your support. And a subscribe and download really goes a long way.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Please follow us on all socials at EasyMode Show. Tweet us what you thought about the episode. Send us your gym selfie. Send us what you like to do. You know, we just like to see you guys.
Yes. Yeah, let us know. Yes. We'll be waiting for all that, but I think that's it for this episode, and we'll see you next week on Easy
Thank
Mode.
you so much.
Very exciting.
Have a great day.
Bye.